like leading it. So how do you keep a balance between life and work? How is this implemented in the team? Is there any stories?
Well, I think it's difficult for me to say whether people consider we keep a balance between life and work, but we do make sure that people see their managers on a monthly basis and discuss what they're doing. So we quite carefully monitor how people are looking after themselves. There is no, there's very much an expectation, and you're measured by the value that you bring in terms of your ideas, and not the number of hours you sit in front of your desk. So if someone solves our problem in half a day, they can go home for the rest of the day, as far as I'm concerned. So I think it's just getting the emphasis right. Having said that, some people do put an awful lot of hours in, and occasionally, and fans have to do it, we have to say yes. You need to go and work in Birmingham for 4 or 5 weeks, and it'll probably be 10-hour days or 12-hour days. But we then try and balance that with, okay, when you come back here, you can have a bit of time off, and it is about balance. But we're not. The business model is not predicated on everybody doing 120% of their time on billing hours. It's having sensible targets. It's making sure the work we do is value-added work, that it isn't just turning a handle. So it's really valuing the output, not the input.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the summary of it, isn't it?
I can only speak on my own behalf. It's not about hours, it's about if you do something you really like, the satisfaction itself is kind of balancing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the effort.
If people get the challenges, the kind of people that...
Yeah, that's quite important.
Yeah, if you've done a PhD, you're used to being self-motivating and having at times to do an awful lot of hard work. So we try and create, sufficient interest that people, as I say, do it on their own accord. Occasionally it doesn't work like that, but more often than not, it does work like that.
So I wonder if there is some interesting stories around this topic.
We do have quite a vibrant young team, so normally once a while we have organized a team event. So Charles is organizing a cycling event in Mallorca. We had 2. One is from London to Paris, another is from London to Brussels last year, and we have other social thing as well. So basically, people can share their project experience, life experience, and social experience, all sorts of that things, and that's kind of, if you feel pressured at work, but you feel like you'll be able to share that also helps a lot as well.
The challenges, initially the challenges were getting momentum behind hiring. When you've got 5 PhDs here, getting another one along to work with them is easy. When you have none, or 2 or something, it's actually, one of the challenges was creating the momentum behind, so that we had enough of a quorum of people who we could say, well, come and join this team of interesting people to do interesting things. And here you can meet some of them, they're real, because part of the recruitment process, as Fan says, you meet among other members of the team, we involve the whole team in recruitment. So one of the biggest challenges was creating that environment from nothing. I don't think any of the original founders had that level of qualification. some very bright people, but it was just sort of ramping up that side of it. I think we were profitable from day one because some of our clients came across. I think some of the challenges are recruiting and building the business fast enough to make Amy happy. That's certainly a challenge. External from a client point of view is, I think it is gaining recognition that you can do this. Because Amy's core business is not what we do, so our brand is not a high-end consultancy brand. It is what it is, but it is actually convincing people that within this much bigger business there is a high-end consultancy. So one of the challenges is about the brand recognition. And then I think when you're in a small business is, when you get a big project, is how you're going to manage a big project. I think one of the biggest challenges we had was when Network Rail, on this job I was talking about that was so successful, they said we'd like 15 people to start tomorrow, and that was a third of the workforce at the time. So those, when you're small, you've got to try and match the size of the project with the number of people you have, and it sometimes doesn't quite work. So you get a misalignment. You ask for supply too many people.
Yeah. So Charles, are you focused still stick on the question we're talking about? Or?
Sorry?
Are you still talking about the?
I was talking about some of the challenges.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
recap where we are
Yeah.
at the moment. Are we on part 3, Q1? Or?
yeah. So we can move on.
Yeah.
Actually, you just talked about some challenges, and you can go on. I thought like we were still in the last part, so never mind.
It's okay.
Where do you want to go next? What next?
The next one is the as you just said, like you are not actually a higher consultancy firm, like you are only a small part of it. Like
we're small part. We are a high-end consultancy, but we are part of a much bigger company which does other things.
Yeah.
So it's the brand recognition in getting that across to people.
Okay.
So Amy is associated with doing other things, not with what we're doing. So that's been quite a challenge. So.
Yep.
So also let's move on to the next question. Like, what is the strengths compared with the other consultancy firm? Because like they looks bigger and like.
Well, we have the biggest group of analysts in one place in the infrastructure industry, as far as I'm aware. No one's challenged me when I said that. So with about 60 analysts, that's a significant group in any industry. Yeah. It's certainly big in the infrastructure industry. And whilst others may say they have an analytical base, they're not necessarily all in one place. So by bringing them all together and allowing for this interaction of ideas, you get some hugely imaginative solutions to problems. So that's, to me, that's probably, and the second thing is that not only are we have that analytical skills, but we have access to the practical side. So other consultants do not have access. I can't ring a guy up and say, hello, can you share with me your problems of running your railway within the same company? So we can do that. I think, just as a side note, when we're talking about project examples, I think look at the Forth Road Bridge, Mercury on the Forth Road Bridge.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Can we give a case study on that? Because that, we've taken a problem from, we've taken a problem that the Scottish Roads have around monitoring the Forth Road Bridge. There's an old and a new Forth Road Bridge. They needed to be able to monitor them in real time and record all the work on them, and none of the existing software systems allowed them to do what they wanted to do, so we created one from the ground up. So that's a very successful project, which is now can be repeated in other industries. So it allows, you know, I don't think there are many businesses that could do that, because it's based on an understanding of the technical requirements, business requirements, and then you've got the software and analytical skills to turn that into a reality.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it rings a bell to me because when I was in China last year, so when we talk about what we do, basically what we're saying is, oh, are you selling software? No, we're not selling software. Oh, you're doing consultancy. Well, we're doing consultancy, but we don't just write a report. So people don't realize the saying. So it's saying, oh, are you trying to do bespoke development, or are you really expensive? It's like it doesn't quite work like that. It's more like you go out and find